welcome back to Homestead Corner. Today I have got a $30 Prepper Pantry haul from the Dollar Tree. So I was able to check out our local Dollar Tree today, and they had a bunch of different brands of things in. So it looks like they're changing over brands. Some things were a little bit smaller, some the same size. So I rooted around and found some of the best stuff that I could find in our Dollar Tree today. So let's jump in and see what we got. I only spent $30 because I wanted to keep it budget friendly. The first thing I found was 2 rolls, and I haven't seen the 2-roll set before of the electrical tape. This is great to have around the house for all kinds of emergencies, projects. It works great. It will hold up plastic on your windows. It will do all sorts of stuff. I've only ever seen it in 1 roll before. I was happy to see that they had 2 rolls today for $1.25. That is a sweet deal. And our Dollar Tree is just $1.25. It's not one of the plus stores, so it doesn't have all the extra $3 and $5 stuff. And then I found this LED work light, which I thought would be great. And we're going to put some batteries in here and see how bright it is. And I will put that over here. So, but it has a magnet. So I thought that might be handy in the car if you had to work on something happened, a broken belt, something like that in your vehicle, and you had an extra, you could change it, or just trying to figure out what is going on under there. So it's just small and thin, and it takes, I think, 2 AAA batteries, 3 AAA batteries. It doesn't come with the batteries, so I'll pop those in and show you how it works with a little magnet on the back. So it will hook to metal, and I thought that would be great for little emergencies. I love their flashlights. They usually work really, really well. And let's see, this is kind of all mixed up in here. And then I found they had restocked the sharpening stones. I really think these are an excellent deal. They do not last like a $30, $40 sharpening stone, but for $1.25, these are excellent to have around the house to sharpen your knives on. Definitely a must-have, and these were right in the auto department where they have all the automobile stuff. And then they had a huge assortment of these lanterns. I really like these lanterns. We have bought quite a few of them. They are excellent to have all over the house because they have a little carry for the kids. They can take them in their rooms. When the grid is down, the lights are out, so they can get through the hallway, in the bathroom. They are wonderful, and they just take a couple of AA batteries, which is great. 3 or 4 of them. They are great. 3 AA's. And then some baking cups. When the grid is down, I find it much easier to bake muffins in our camp oven on the wood stove. So I like to make sure I have plenty of baking cups. So I grabbed an extra one of those for the pantry to have on hand. And I also got the heavy duty aluminum foil. The thinner stuff doesn't work so great on the campfire because it is so hot. If you're cooking on the grill or campfire, it tears really easy, but this thicker stuff works really good. We like to make sure we have plenty of this, so when the grid is down and we have to cook on a barbecue or on an open fire or however we have to cook, rocket stove, we'll figure something out. There's plenty of options for us, but whatever works for you, you're going to want to make sure you have all of those tools in case the grid goes down. You have the right supplies for that type of thing. So you may not usually use this, but if the grid goes down, you're going to want something a little heavier than that thin tin foil. Because foil packet meals are excellent on the fire, and they're super easy. Just put everything in, your seasoning, veggies, meat, everything, close it up, throw it on fire. Perfect. And the next thing I got was liquid skin. This is just like a liquid bandage is all this is. I thought it was great. These are really expensive at Walmart and other drugstores, but $1.25. This is just a quick fix for small cuts and things like that, which is great. Good to have in your emergency kit. in your first aid kit, definitely. I also found a winter word search. I like to have these around when the grid is down. It is nice to have something to do to keep your mind occupied. I like to do these in the winter time. I do a lot of crafts and things like that in the winter to keep myself busy because I do not fare well sitting still at all. I have to do something all the time. So I love to keep busy. And if I don't have a craft to do or something like that, I can put a headlamp on in the dark and do one of these word searches. And it just keeps my brain going and keeps me not thinking about anything negative, which is good. And they did change our brand of egg noodles at our store. So I only bought one package today. These are very noisy. They're the Pampa egg noodles. I've tried their coconut milk is excellent. I've tried a few of their products. They are really good. I have not tried the egg noodles, so I only got one bag. And they have a 2023 expiration date on it. I figured I would give these a try and see if we like them. So as long as we like them, I will definitely buy more because we use a lot of egg noodles. We keep them in the pantry for casseroles and to add to soups and things like that to beef stuff up. Egg noodles are great. They won't go long term, but they are excellent to have in your shorter term food storage. We always like to grab the macaroni and pasta and stuff. They didn't really have it, only macaroni and lasagna noodles today. But these macaroni boxes are 20 ounces, which is much better than the grocery store. And even the store brand stuff is creeping up over $1 with the prices rising. Making sure you get the best deal for your money is definitely important. I also grabbed this 5-pack of these little super glues. I love the individual super glues because I can take this apart and put them in all different places for emergency use. You never know when you're going to have to stick something together. You might break your glasses. You might break something when you're out on the road. We keep them all over the place. I love these small ones because it's single use and you just toss it out and you're not wasting it, because when you buy the big tube, you know it gets all gummed up and gross and you never use the whole thing because it gets ruined. You can never get it closed just perfect and the glue is destroyed. So that is a great one to have, and you get 5 of them or 4 of them so you can put them in all your different bags. Then I also grabbed these coffee filters. I don't use this size in my coffee maker. We use the cone filters, and also in our pour overs we use the cone filters, but these are good for so many different things. There are millions of uses. If you just Google uses for coffee filters, my God, there are hundreds and hundreds of uses. So we use them a lot in between our cast iron after it's clean and oiled. If you set cast iron on cast iron, I have had them rust. So we like to just lay one of those filters in between. If you are packing dishes up or something like that, you can put them in between. It helps give it a little bit of a buffer. These make great fire starters. You can, when you oil your pans, you can use it to smear the oil around in your cast iron pans. They're great for all kinds of stuff. And after you do that, you have a little fire starter right there with oil on it. So just tons of different ways you can use them, and I think they are great to have in an emergency for pre-filtering water, all sorts of stuff, tons and tons of uses. Coffee filters are something everybody should have in the house, even if you don't drink coffee. I think those are super handy. And the next thing is the yellow rice. I like these smaller packs. They are perfect. It is an 9-ounce bag. Walmart has the larger bag of this. I think it is $2.50, something like that. But for $1.25, this is the perfect size. We have a family of 6. This, some meat, some vegetables, throw it in, cook it all together, cook up the rice, and then mix everything together, toss it in the oven. Makes an awesome casserole. We really like these for like a chicken and rice type thing. It's just a different flavor and it adds to your stock. These are great. Again, this is not going to go long term, but it will be great in your short term pantry, because those are important as well. Definitely. And then we grabbed a couple of spices. And I like to buy the ones that I can't grow, or, you know, things like that. So cinnamon, I can't grow cinnamon. So this, I always grab different spices when I'm there, when I see new things, different blends, stuff like that, just to beef up what you have. You want to make sure you have tons of spices in your storage. And I grabbed some black peppercorns. The ground pepper is wonderful to keep in your pantry, but the peppercorns are going to stay more potent for a lot longer when you're storing them long term. So definitely whole spices as often as you can. You can grind them up yourself. Mortar and pestle is great to have, or if you have a spice grinder, as long as you have electricity, the electric spice grinder is going to do great. I've even seen some hand crank ones and things like that. So those are good. And I also grabbed a salt-free seasoning, and just an all-purpose seasoning, but it's salt-free. I like to have those options. My parents are always watching their salt. If they're going to eat over, I know in advance I can make sure that we're not packing too much salt in there for them. And if I want to use it, and I can always add salt. So it really, you know, why pay for the salt? You don't really need to. The salt-free ones are usually quite expensive, and salt is usually the main ingredient. And salt's cheap. We buy a pound of salt for $1 at the Dollar Tree. So pineapple tidbits, we love these. Great for tons of recipes, desserts, snack. You can eat them right out of the can for a snack. There are so many different things. Put them in Jell-O. There's just millions of ideas for these little pineapples. We love them, so I like to keep them in the pantry, and they have a pretty good shelf life, even though they're pretty high in acid. They I think, yeah, they have a 2025 best by date on them, which is great because, you know, the longer the better. But we go through them and we keep everything cycled, so I don't really worry about the dates. But I do, when I'm buying them, I do always look for the furthest out date, because when you are shopping, even at your local small stores, Dollar Tree, big box stores, some of the dates are getting really close, and I fish around and look through everything and buy the furthest date out, definitely. And if it's too close, I won't buy it. Not that I wouldn't eat it, because I would. I'll eat it past the date on the can. It's still okay, but I want it to last as long as possible in my pantry, so I always do look for the longest date on the shelf. So I grabbed a couple of these Progresso Classic Alfredo. These make a quick pantry lunch. My kids will grab some, a can of this Classic Alfredo, a little bit of pasta, a small can of chicken, a handful of veggies, and just make up a quick little chicken Alfredo, and something quick and easy from the pantry. And it works out really well. This is pretty good flavor, and we like the Progresso. It's nice to have homemade, but that's expensive, and that's only $1.25, so that matters in our house. Definitely. So a few more things left. Some sweetened condensed creamer. We like to have the sweetened condensed stuff for, you can make like your pantry fudges and things like that. If you've got sweetened condensed milk, there are a whole bunch of different things you can do with it. You can use it as a coffee creamer. You can do all kinds of stuff with it. So this is one of the ingredients we use in our fudges because it is simple and easy, and it's handy. It's right in the pantry. You can have those special treats when you want them. And I have not seen this there before, but it has a nice long shelf life, and it's cocoa, so it's not going to go bad in your pantry. 2026, they have just a small can of cocoa. It is 4 ounces of cocoa. So you're going to want this around the holidays or anytime. If you love hot cocoa, it's easy to make hot cocoa mix yourself. Just having the cocoa and some powdered milk and, you know, just a handful of ingredients. You can whip up a hot cocoa mix, or you can whip up all sorts of stuff. You can make your brownies, anything like that, chocolate cake, you know. Even in emergencies, you're going to want a little something. Definitely. And the last thing I got was one of these Hungry Jacks. They did have quite a few, but I was on a $30 budget, and this was the last thing that I found, so we only got one today. But We just keep adding these to our pantry. You know, even if you're only getting one at a time or two at a time, whatever it is that you can afford, little by little, your pantry will fill up really quickly. If you're doing an extra $10 a week or even $10 a month, you'll be surprised how fast that adds up. Because at the Dollar Tree, at $1.25, you can, with $10, you can add 8 things to your pantry. And if you just leave them, next month it's 16, and it just keeps growing and growing. And before you know it, you have got a huge pantry with a nice wide variety that you can pull from for emergencies, for job loss, for sickness, for all sorts of stuff. It is really important to make sure your pantry is really, really full. And I would love to hear what you guys have found new at the Dollar Tree. Some of these things I have not seen there before. Like the noodles are new. The 2-pack of the tape is new. I never seen the cocoa there. There were a few different things that I haven't seen there, but our store just got them in. So I would love to hear what you're finding, and it really helps other people, give some ideas of things to put in their pantry and things to look for that they might not have thought of. And that's it for today. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.